Most people think money is a thing, a number in your account, a paper in your wallet, a medal in your pocket. But money isn't a thing. It's a signal, a current, a language, a form of energy. And once you understand that, you stop chasing it. You start channeling it because energy doesn't beg. Energy doesn't apologize. It either flows or it doesn't. And most people, they live in financial droughts, not because money isn't real, but because their energy is out of sync with it. They repel it without knowing. They crave it while carrying beliefs that push it away. They grind endlessly, but every dollar they touch feels heavy, fleeting, cursed. If you've ever wondered why some people attract wealth like it's gravity, while others can't hold on to a single paycheck without it slipping through cracked palms, you're about to see why. This isn't a how-to guide. It's a revelation, one that will challenge what you've been taught, one that will turn your relationship with money inside out. And by the end of this video, you won't just see money differently, you'll feel it differently. You'll move with it differently, because money isn't the goal. It's the echo of something deeper. Let's begin. You were taught that money comes from hard work, that you have to earn every cent, that you must trade your time, your labor, your peace for paper. And maybe that worked for a while, but deep down, you feel it. There's a flaw in the system, because some people work themselves to death and die broke, while others barely lift a finger and swim in wealth. It doesn't add up. Not if money was just about effort, not if it was just about fairness. So let's rip this open. Money doesn't come from work. It flows from belief. Not the fluffy, affirm it and it shows up kind of belief. I'm talking about the subconscious programming etched into your nervous system. The rules you never chose but obey anyway. The script that tells you what you're worth without ever asking your opinion. Because here's the secret nobody says. Money comes to those who believe they can hold it. Read that again. Money doesn't just come to the smart or the brave or the loud. It comes to those who have an energetic container strong enough to keep it. And that container, it's built from your identity. Let's go deeper. Have you ever received a large sum, an unexpected windfall, a lucky break, a generous gift, and felt anxious, almost guilty, like it was too much, like you didn't deserve it? That wasn't logic, that was conditioning, and conditioning always wins. Your mind will sabotage what your energy cannot integrate. You'll find ways to spend it, lose it, delay it, burn it. Why? Because your inner thermostat for money is set too low. Because somewhere deep inside a voice whispers, this isn't who I am. This isn't normal for me. This feels wrong. And energy responds accordingly. So the first step is not chasing more. It's cleaning the channel, rerouting your inner code from scarcity to receptivity. Because money is just one form of energy. And energy is always asking one question: can you handle me? Now pause here and ask yourself, when you think of being rich, really rich, does it feel safe? Or does it feel heavy? Do you feel powerful or guilty? Do you imagine joy? Or do you fear judgment, loneliness, pressure? That's the container talking. And if it's cracked, nothing you do will be enough. Because energy doesn't care about hustle, it cares about harmony. So part one ends with this truth. Until you believe you're someone who can hold wealth without guilt, fear, or collapse, you will subconsciously push it away. You will keep working harder, running faster, but leaking energy the whole way. You're not broke because of numbers. You're broke because of noise. Clear it. What do you pay attention to? Because whatever it is, That's where your energy is going. And where your energy goes, money either follows or flees. Most people never question the cost of their focus. They wake up and scroll, drown themselves in noise, compare their lives to people faking theirs online, react to everything, news, drama, envy, fear, and they wonder why they feel drained, why life feels heavy, why success feels so far away. Here's the truth. You don't have a money problem, you have an attention problem. Your attention is your most valuable currency, more valuable than dollars, because attention directs energy, and energy creates form. So when you give your attention to chaos, you create more chaos. When you obsess over lack, you generate more scarcity. When you tune into fear, you start to attract situations that validate it, not because the world is cruel, but because energy is neutral. It only amplifies what you feed it. If you walk into a dark room and turn on a red light, you'll see the room in red. If you turn on a blue light, the room becomes blue. The room didn't change. You changed the lens. Money is no different. Right now, you might be spending your attention on what you don't have, on bills, on debts, on comparison, on survival. And that's why you keep manifesting more of the same. You're trying to escape the loop, but you're feeding it. So what happens if you redirect? What if you start spending your attention like an investor? Carefully, intentionally, with vision. You stop asking, how do I get more money? And instead ask, what energy am I radiating right now? What am I making real through focus? Because money doesn't care about your goals. It follows your gaze. And if your gaze is always backwards, if it's locked on the wounds of your past, on the scarcity of your childhood, on the shame of what you didn't have, then you're tuning your present to a broken frequency. You're investing in loss. Now hear this carefully. You cannot receive wealth while worshiping your wounds. You cannot hold abundance while gripping your identity as the underdog. That may have served you once, but it won't take you further. It's too expensive. Your energy is precious. Your attention is sacred. Your mind is not a garbage bin for the world's noise. Start guarding it like your life depends on it, because it does. And don't just cut out distractions. Replace them with alignment. Don't just stop scrolling. Start studying. Don't just quit complaining. Start creating. Don't just retreat from noise. Lean into silence, because silence is not empty. It's full of answers. And wealth loves clarity. You're not poor because you lack intelligence. You're not behind because you didn't get a lucky break. You're out of sync. Retune your attention, and energy will follow. And money, it will arrive quietly, respectfully, consistently, because it always goes where it's welcome. You want to know the real reason you keep sabotaging your finances? It's not because you're lazy, not because you're bad at math, and not because the world is rigged against you, although yes, the system is flawed. It's because your emotions are at war with your desires. You say you want wealth, but deep inside, you carry guilt about it. You say you want freedom, but you're emotionally addicted to struggle. You've been told that money is power, and you've also been told that power corrupts. So what does your nervous system do? It creates tension, confusion, inner conflict. You can't fully move toward what you want because a deeper part of you believes it will hurt you, or worse, turn you into someone unrecognizable. Let's break this down. Every emotion you carry emits a frequency, not metaphorically, literally. Shame is the lowest frequency a human can operate from. It contracts your energy, shrinks your presence, dulls your ability to receive. Guilt is just above shame. It tells you, I don't deserve this. I must suffer to be good. If I win, others lose. Sound familiar? These are the silent vows we make without knowing. The subconscious packs with scarcity. You see someone rich and you judge them. You feel envy, but behind that envy is something deeper. A belief that wealth must come from exploitation, that having money makes you less pure, less spiritual, less lovable. So now you're stuck, because how can you become what you resent? You can't, and your energy knows that. So what happens? You make just enough to survive. You find a way to stay afloat, but never thrive, because thriving would break the unspoken rule. And here's the worst part. You wear your struggle like a badge of honor. You romanticize the grind. You call it humble. You call it being real. But in truth, it's a defense mechanism. It's fear dressed up as morality. There is nothing noble about suffering needlessly. You weren't born to live paycheck to paycheck, sacrificing your soul for scraps, convincing yourself that money is just not that important. Money isn't evil, it's not divine either. It's neutral. It amplifies who you are. If you're selfish, it will expose that. If you're generous, it will expand that. If you're wounded, it will highlight your scars. But money doesn't create the wound. It reveals it. And that's the part most people miss. They say, if I had more, I'd give more. But they won't give when they have little. They say, money changes people. But people were already changing. Money just took off the mask. So here's the shift. Instead of seeing money as something that happens to you, start seeing it as something that responds to you. If your emotional field is flooded with guilt, shame, fear, and resentment, no amount of strategy will save you. You'll block it, leak it, reject it, not with words, but with vibration, because money is energy, and energy cannot lie. So if you want more, start healing more. Let go of the guilt. Forgive yourself for the debt. Forgive your parents for what they couldn't give. Forgive society for its confusion. And then make this decision. I will no longer punish myself with poverty. It changes everything. Not overnight, but certainly from within. And once the internal current is cleared, the external flow will begin. Not because you chased it harder, but because you finally stopped pushing it away. They told you time is money, but that's a lie. Time is life. Money is a mirror. And the moment you start trading one for the other without awareness, you've already lost. Let's break this. From the time you were a child, you were trained to believe in linear exchange. 1 hour, 1 reward, 1 shift, 1 paycheck, 1 effort, 1 output. That sounds fair, but energy doesn't work like that. Energy scales, energy compounds, energy breaks the rules of time. Yet here you are, tired, overworked, burning your best hours on tasks that don't feed your future, exchanging your soul for a fixed wage, calling it responsibility. But the system lied. It taught you that you only deserve money if you sacrifice your time. It taught you that rest is laziness, that you can't receive unless you suffer. That ease is suspicious. But what if that's exactly why you're stuck? Because here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. The rich don't sell time. They sell outcomes. They sell solutions. They sell presence, access, vision. And the broke? They sell minutes, hours, days. Their very life auctioned off in tiny increments. This is the trap. It's not that you're not working hard, it's that your time is plugged into the wrong socket. The current doesn't flow. There's no energetic return. So let's shift the lens. Instead of asking, how can I make more money this week? Ask, what systems can I build this month that will make me money next year? Instead of asking, how many hours can I work today? Ask, how can I turn one idea into infinite leverage? because leverage is the secret language of the wealthy. They don't hustle harder, they think differently, they ask better questions. They create once, get paid forever. A video, a product, a system, a skill. They break the time-money link and build a time-energy loop instead. Here's how it works. You invest your energy into something aligned. That creation becomes a magnet. It attracts value while you sleep. You reinvest. It compounds. And suddenly time expands. You're no longer rushing, no longer counting minutes like coins. Because now you've tasted freedom. But it starts here. Realizing that your time is not a currency. It's a vessel. And if you keep filling it with tasks that drain you, that dull your light, that numb your purpose, you're not being responsible, you're being robbed, not by others, by your own beliefs. You've been taught to survive, not to scale, to endure, not to elevate. But endurance doesn't lead to expansion. It leads to burnout. So stop asking, how much can I do? And start asking, what's worth doing at all? Because one aligned action, one clear intention, one brave decision can replace 100 wasted hours. Money is energy, but time is sacred. Don't trade it. Transcend it. Look around you. What do you see? Your walls, your clothes, your inbox, your bank app, the voices of your friends, the tone of your home, the energy of your family. This is your environment. And whether you know it or not, it's shaping your net worth, not because of how much it costs, but because of what it says to your subconscious. We become what we normalize, and what you normalize becomes what you allow. So if you grew up in a home where money was tight, where every bill was a crisis, where your parents argued over cents, where you heard phrases like, "We can't afford that." Money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are selfish. You don't need that. Be grateful. Then what got imprinted wasn't financial literacy, it was financial limitation. You absorbed scarcity like air. You swallowed guilt with every gift. You began associating comfort with danger, success with shame, ambition with rejection. And you didn't choose these beliefs. They chose you. Your nervous system began to protect you from wealth because wealth felt foreign, unsafe, unfamiliar. And now here you are, an adult, trying to manifest abundance while standing inside a frequency that still vibrates with poverty. So let's go deeper. Look at your circle. Who do you talk to about money? Do they expand you or drain you? Do they talk vision or gossip? Do they empower or complain? Because the truth is brutal. You cannot heal your financial story while surrounded by people who are still committed to their wounds. You cannot fly if your nest is built from fear. And it's not about cutting people off cold. It's about noticing, what does my environment expect from me? Because expectations are energy too. If your environment expects smallness, you will feel guilty for growing. If your environment expects struggle, you will sabotage ease. If your environment expects survival, you will feel shame for thriving. And no, it's not just physical, it's emotional, spiritual, energetic. Even your home carries a frequency. Is your space chaotic or intentional? Does it reflect who you were or who you're becoming? Because money doesn't flow into confusion. It flows into clarity, and clarity begins with space. Declutter your mind, your room, your schedule, your relationships. Not for aesthetics, for alignment. Make your life an energetic yes to abundance. This isn't about fake luxury or pretending to be rich. It's about designing your environment to support the frequency of wealth, peace, expansion. Because the biggest blocks are often the ones you walk past every day without noticing. That messy desk, that old friendship rooted in trauma bonding, that tab you've been avoiding, that recurring thought that says, I can't handle more. All of it is programming. And until you break that pattern, until you make your normal feel like a place where wealth belongs, you will keep reaching, but never receiving. So do something radical. Clean your space, change your circle, upgrade your inputs, mute the noise, light a candle instead of watching the same loop again. And most importantly, stop treating your energy like it's indestructible. It's not. It bends to your surroundings, and money bends with it. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you allow, and your environment reveals exactly what you allow. So shift it on purpose, with intention, with love. Then watch what starts to flow in. Most people chase money like prey. They hunt it, they strategize, they panic when it runs. They beg when it's absent, and they wonder why it never stays. But money isn't prey. It's not something to catch, it's something to attract. And attraction doesn't come from desperation. It comes from value. Not just what you do, but who you are while doing it. Listen carefully. Money doesn't come to people who want it. It comes to people who generate energy, solutions, beauty, truth, relief, freedom, power. Not power over others. Power that frees others. Power that solves a problem, even if it's invisible. Power that shifts a moment. Power that restores someone's belief in possibility. That's value. And in a world addicted to numbness, the most valuable thing you can become is alive, fully, present, unapologetic, creative, true. You think money is made by the smartest person in the room? Look closer. It's usually the one who speaks directly to pain, to hope, to urgency, because that's what money follows. Energy and motion. So if you sit still, afraid to act, if you stay trapped in self-doubt, if you hide behind perfection, if you second-guess every impulse, you're blocking the flow. People pay for resonance, not credentials, not permission. They pay for how you make them feel. Even if it's just through a product, a voice, a space, an idea, and you're sitting on a gold mine, but you're treating it like dirt because no one taught you to value your energy. They taught you to silence it, tame it, compress it into something employable, package it in a way that feels safe, marketable, dull. But energy doesn't move through boxes. It moves through risk, through art, through conviction. So ask yourself, where am I leaking energy by hiding? Where am I withholding the very thing people would pay to feel? Because your fear of being judged is costing you more than being seen ever could. And no, this doesn't mean you have to become an influencer or start a business or sell your soul. It means you stop pretending your gifts are irrelevant. It means you stop undercharging your magic. It means you stop waiting to be chosen. The moment you start offering real energy into the world, value, emotion, truth, you become magnetic. People feel it. They don't always know why, but they lean in, they click, they reach for their wallet. Not because you asked, but because something in you gave first. Value creation is energetic generosity. It says, here, I made this. I thought of you. I wanted to help. I want to shift something real. And people don't forget that. They remember who made them feel safe, seen, inspired, heard, lighter. You don't make money by yelling, look at me. You make money by quietly becoming someone impossible to ignore. So stop chasing, start becoming. Become the source of the energy you want to receive. And then, money will not need to be summoned. It will arrive uninvited because your energy made a home for it. So now you know, money is not luck, not evil, not some mystical force only chosen people get to touch. It's energy, and energy obeys alignment. Not desperation, not fear, not hustle, alignment. But let's be honest, knowing that changes nothing until you live it. Because there will still be days when fear returns, when you check your bank account and your chest tightens, when the world around you screams scarcity, when the old stories whisper, this will never work for you. And in those moments, the choice is simple, but not easy. You can retreat or you can remember. Remember, your energy is the invitation. Your belief is the doorway. Your focus is the conductor. Your body is the channel. And money? Money is just the guest. It doesn't stay where it's not welcomed. It doesn't settle where it's not trusted. It doesn't expand where it's feared. So this is the moment to reclaim what's already yours. Not by grabbing, but by grounding. Not by chasing, but by choosing. Choose to speak differently. No more "I can't afford it." Say, "It's not aligned right now." Shift from victimhood to vision. Choose to feel differently. When jealousy creeps in, transmute it. Turn envy into evidence. If they can have it, so can you. Choose to move differently. Don't wait for permission. Create without guarantee. Offer without begging. Give without depletion. Because your energy is your business card, and the world reads it before it ever sees your resume. You want wealth? Then stop asking, "What do I deserve?" and start asking, "What do I broadcast?" Because energy doesn't understand should, it understands is. So if you walk around in lack, repeating your limitations like affirmations, guess what money hears? Not yet, not ready, not welcome. But if you start moving as if abundance already knows your name, if you dress, speak, build, rest, and breathe like someone who honors their own energy, money will follow, not overnight, not all at once, but gradually, relentlessly, quietly at first, then all at once, because energy always catches up to the aligned. And if you truly become the version of you that can hold wealth without guilt, create value without shrinking, rest without punishment, and give without fear, then nothing can stop it. Not the economy, not your past, not your age, not your mistakes. Because you won't just have money, you'll understand it, you'll hold it, you'll move with it, and it will move with you. Not as a master, but as a mirror. Because in the end, money is not the goal. It's the echo. The real goal is this: to become the kind of person who no longer fears their own power, who no longer apologizes for their impact, who no longer sees value as something out there, because they've finally remembered they are the source,